this is the author bio backstory, just to give it a little heading so it knows what it's actually reading. And you just paste those component parts underneath there. And then what we're going to do, I'll show you inside ChatGPT, but the process is almost identical for Claude or Gemini. Again, like I said, because whatever model you choose to use, you're putting the same building blocks in, the same foundations to train it. So if you're in ChatGPT, you can put all of these instructions into a custom GPT, or you can put them into a project. In Claude, you have projects, or you have also now skills. In Gemini, you have gems. They're all broadly similar. And let me, again, for people who aren't familiar with GPTs, I think of GPTs as like an app within your ChatGPT account, or a skill if it's Claude, where you've sort of programmed it, set it up to do one thing specifically, but do that one thing well. So it's a bit like going to the App Store. So if I go to GPTs in my sidebar, I can click on Explore GPTs, and then this is the GPT store for ones that are public. Yours doesn't have to be public, by the way. It should be private to you. Just click on the Create button, and you get this blank template. Top tip: don't do it under Create. I won't go into why here. You just don't get as good a result. It's not as nuanced. You're going to lose a lot of the nuance that you've created doing all of the work that we've just described. So you must do it under the Configure tab, and then simply put in the name of the GPT, something that's memorable to you, so you can find it. Again, you can pin it in the sidebar and it can live there, but you can look it up under your list of whatever GPTs you've created. A little description. Again, this doesn't matter so much if it's a personal one. This is more if it's a public-facing one, but you can put a description in there. And then this is where the instructions go. And the Google Doc that I was just sharing with you, which had those prompts on, literally all you're going to do is copy and paste that into this box. And then once you've put that in there, let's imagine we're going to do that now. So I won't put the whole thing in, take too long, but let's pretend that's the whole thing. I'm going to paste that in there, and then I can close that. It's in there. Once I've filled out all these different boxes, this will not be grayed out. I'll be able to click that button to create it and save it. And again, if you're updating, because you can update this at any time. Like I say, remind me to talk a little bit about feeding back to the model in a second when I've done this, if I forget. Conversation starters, you don't really need to worry about these because it's personal to you. This is, again, if it's public facing, you might want to create a logo if it's a graphic design one, some things that people can click on and have a starting point for them. And then upload files. So you might want to upload files into what they call the knowledge component. I'll mention this because sometimes it's a problem. This instructions box on ChatGPT has a character limit of 8,000 characters. That includes spaces. So that's actually not a huge window for your instructions. So if you are running out of space, and you might be building a GPT for something completely different. So if you are running out of space, what you can do is have your core instructions here, and then supplemental information. You can upload those as a text file or as a PDF, and you can put those into the knowledge section. So if you do run out of space in the instructions, maybe you could put the style guide, for example, into here. Now, ideally, you want the style guide to fit into the instructions box, but that's the workaround if it doesn't. Now, this is a little pro tip. I haven't mentioned this yet. Let's assume that the instructions plus the elements you put underneath all fit into the instructions box. So you have your style guide in there, the core guide, the sub guides. What you can also do is take the original raw material, the story that you used to extract that information, and upload those as files into the knowledge. And the reason for doing that is that what we can have the AI do is it will default to the instructions first. So if it's helping you to either draft a story from scratch, or if you've told a story and you're having the AI edit it for you and you want it to maintain your authentic voice, either way, it's going to the sort of core plus the story specific instructions. However, if it's not sure about something, it can go and do a little deeper dive and go back to the original source material. Again, this is something that almost nobody is doing. So if you do this, again, this is top 1% stuff. So most of the time, it's not going to look at the actual story that you uploaded as a file in the knowledge section. It doesn't need to. But if it's stuck on something and it's not sure which way to go, it can go back to the source material, read that through in a microsecond, and then make a decision based on that. And that gives it a little extra steer. So that's a little pro tip for giving the AI basically as much as you can give it, and having that kind of belt and braces. So it really is this simple. You just paste the instructions in here, upload any files that you need to do, hit create or save if you're updating it, and it's done. You've built that out. And it's the box for Gemini, the box for Claude, window for Claude is virtually the same. If you can do it here, you can do it there as well.
It's amazing to think how easy it actually is to achieve this end result. Like everybody thinks, I'm going to build a bot and that it's going to take them forever, but it's actually just a couple of clicks at a button and some really great prompts. So, loving this. And you did say that we could go back and make changes to the bot afterwards. How do we go and do that?
Yeah. Literally what I just showed you. So just go back to there was a little icon top right of the screen as you're looking at it saying My GPTs, or if it's Claude and you set up a skill, My skills, etc. You click that button. If you've only got the one, it'll be there. But if you've built out a whole bunch, just find the one that you're looking for, click on it, and that exact same window will come up. And you can either go in and manually change the instructions, but I'll talk about, okay, let's go back. Let's say you've just written a piece of content or just had the AI write or edit a piece of content for you and it's got something wrong. You might be able to look at that and it might be obvious. It might be just a way it constructs a sentence or a piece of punctuation. And you can say, okay, I don't want you to do this in future. But if you're not sure how to describe it, what you want to do is open up a separate chat window, copy and paste the bit that it's got wrong. And then underneath that, just write out how you would like it to have been written and ask the AI and say literally like, this is the output that I got, paste that output, and then this is how I would have liked it to have been written. Describe to me how I would explain that to AI and get it to write the instructions for you. Rather, it'll do a much better job than I write prompts, and I've been writing prompts every day, every working day at least, for about 3 years now. I mean, I got my ChatGPT account about a week after it went kind of public. The AI can do a much better job than I can of writing the prompts. Plus, it saves you an absolute ton of time. So you do it in a fraction of the time, and you get much better results. So why would you ever do it yourself? So have the AI analyze the piece of writing that's wrong, compare it to what you would like, and then it gives you the instructions. And then you can go across to what I like to do. Again, a couple of tips. I haven't mentioned these before. When I'm putting the master instructions together, I always like to do that in something like a Google Doc. So I've got it outside of my AI as an easy reference because the filing system within AI isn't the best. It also helps with things like version control. I can make a new version but keep the old version. I can always swap them in and out if the old one was getting better results. So as a best practice, I always kind of assemble the instructions in the Google Doc and then paste them across into the GPT. But also, because I'm probably going to be having this conversation with AI, where it's helping me to build out it's analyzing the text, it's building out the instructions for me that are going to go into the master prompt in the first place. I can go back into that chat where I was doing this analysis, or I wasn't the AI, was doing it for me. And if I've got that issue where it's got something wrong, I can have that conversation inside that chat or inside that project where I've built out the instructions. And so it has that context of, it knows what it's doing without me having to explain it. And it gives me the output that I want to change. And most people probably know this now, but just in case anybody's not aware of it, you can create like a canvas inside a ChatGPT, and the others have equivalents, which are documents that you can edit as well as the AI. So if you have a canvas for your instructions, what you can do is ask the AI to drop it into the canvas to edit the instructions.
If you want to watch the entire episode, click here. And if you want to watch more episodes like this, click here.